All right. So, I am so excited to be before you today. And today we are going to be talking about the F word. I know some of y'all like, I'm too holy for that, but I know some of y'all just half holy, half hood. So, that's what we're going to be talking about right after these messages. So thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about the F word, and this is the fifth part to the 5 ways to manage your mindset. So if you've missed the previous 4 steps, you can always go back to YouTube, MaDonna.INcourage. That is MaDonna.INcourage on YouTube, and you can find the other 4 steps. But today we're going to be talking about step 5 in this 5-part step series. And I'm excited about it. So I know y'all like, MaDonna, what is the F word? Y'all already trying to figure it out. Once you get in here, I definitely want you to put, maybe I should challenge you and be like, put your F word in the box. I don't care. Go ahead on and put it in there. But today we're going to be talking about the 5th step to the 5 ways to manage your mindset. And that 5th way is, I'm not going to tell you yet. Let's dive into the scripture that we're going to be using for this session. So the scripture that we're going to be looking at is Matthew 6:15. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Now, some of you are so smart. You may be like, MaDonna, I know what the F word is. I know what the F word is. I am so excited that you now know what the F word is, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness. This is one way. This is the last step in helping you to manage your mindsets. You must learn how to forgive. And so we're going to talk about that today. But I did want to go ahead and share with you what forgiveness is, right? Because some of you may be feeling like, well, I said I forgive, but just you saying it doesn't mean that you actually forgave that person. Okay. So forgiveness is to give up resentment. And I know some of y'all just like, girl, I am wanting to hold that on. But that is what true forgiveness is when you actually let go resentment and hold on to the forgiveness part. Okay. So we're releasing the pain in order to hold on to something that is going to help us heal in our process. So the other thing forgiveness is pardon. It means to pardon. You are a king, you are a queen. And when you reach out your scepter and you forgive somebody, boom, you release the hold that was attached between you and that other person. So I want you to remember your royalty whenever we're talking about the F word today. Okay, so remember your royalty as we talk about this F word. The other thing that forgiveness is excuse, right? So a lot of times when we might burp, we might, pass someone in the hallway and we're trying to get past them and we'll say, excuse me. Well, I want you to think about that as we are talking about this F word today, because you want to remember your royalty and you want to excuse and pardon and release the resentment from someone else. So once again, today's message, our foundational scripture is coming from Matthew 6:15, and it says, but if ye forgive not these trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So I want you to definitely keep that in mind. And I definitely want to remind you of like what we had talked about in the beginning for the first steps and the second steps. And once again, if you did not get to see the whole entire series, you can always go to YouTube at my channel, which is MaDonna.INcourage. So I want you to remember that thoughts are things, right? So when we're talking about these trespasses today, I want you to remember that you giving someone pardon, you excusing someone for an act, is you actually having the thought that you're going to release them. Okay. And so don't forget, as we also have shared, that your mind is your territory. So I want you to remember that. Thank you all. I'm so excited to see you queens on here. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Oh, I got my wife coach on here. Okay, let's go. We're about to dive all the way into it. Okay. So the first thing, and maybe my wife coach would definitely know this whenever she's dealing with her clients, is that you have to forgive others, right? A lot of times I see that with my clients as well. They are still holding on to that resentment because they don't want to let the other person go, right? And we have all heard before that unforgiveness is kind of like thinking that you're giving poison to another person when you're actually taking it in yourself. So you're only damaging yourself when you don't extend that grace, when you don't extend that your pardon to the next person. So I definitely want you to keep that in mind, that you need to forgive the other person. So put a 1 in the chat if you've been there. You're just like, MaDonna, I have held that person for years. Put a 1 in the chat if you are holding on to resentment for, let's say, 0 to 5 years. Put a 1 in the chat. I want to see these. I want to see that. This is going to be awesome. Put a 1 in the chat if you have been holding on to unforgiveness for 0 to 5 years. Put a 2 in the chat if you have been holding on to resentment for 5 to 10 years. Put a 2 in the chat if you have been holding on to resentment for someone for 5 to 10 years. And put a 3 in the chat if you have been holding on to resentment from someone for 10 or more years. Let's look at this, because you have to realize that this is what is maybe that's holding you back from getting to your next level. You're just like, I'm praying to God that I want to go to my next level, but you have not forgiven someone in some part of your life, which is holding you back. To me, having unforgiveness is like a junkyard dog, right? It's like a chain, or like how people talk about, your ball and chain. And a lot of times they talking about that. Hey, coach, I see you this morning, Miss Alicia. Good morning. Good morning. But that ball and chain is also like holding you from your next level, for your next advancement, right? So, for instance, I had a time in my life when I literally held on to unforgiveness for, I'm going to say, more than 20 years, okay? More than 20 years. And the person didn't even know, like they so, going on with their life and, getting degrees and certification, that they wasn't even worried about me, child. But here's what I was so angry about, okay? I wanted to be Shaka Khan. I wanted to be Shaka Khan, and I thought I was the best Shaka Khan. And nobody could tell me I couldn't be Shaka Khan, okay? Nobody couldn't tell me that. Even after 20 years, I still was mad because she was chosen to be Shaka Khan. And I eventually, okay, maybe like, 30 years later, 30 years later, I decided, I, as the queen of my domain, of my mindset, I finally decided to pardon this girl for being Shaka Khan. So, hey, queen, I see you on there. We got my divorce coach on here. We're slaying. We're talking about forgiveness, child, and how I wanted to be Shaka Khan, okay? So I finally decided to release this person who I have been holding on for years. And so I want to challenge you to write down someone. You don't have to put it in the chat, but like on a separate sheet of paper sometime today, I want you to write down who it is that you're holding on to. Someone that you need to forgive today. This one, the second key, I know y'all gonna be like, MaDonna, this ain't, I never did this. I never did this. But the second key or person you need to forgive is God. Some of you are holding on and y'all just like, well, I'm mad at God because he let me go through this and all this and that. But truth be told, that experience, whatever experience it is, it may be happening in your life for you to realize you have something going on in your heart that he's trying to address. So this is being allowed to happen to you so that you will wake up. But some of you are not waking up. You're just like, well, I don't know why God got me going through this experience or whatever. I need a better man. I need more money. I need a better house. I need a better job. And you mad at God. But God didn't put you there. And the more you hold on to the resentment, the longer you'll have the problem. Let me say that again. The longer you hold on to the resentment, the longer you will have the problem. So let's recap just a little bit so we can talk about what the F word is, because the F word is forgiveness. And you, as the king and queens of your domains, need to learn how to extend a pardon, extend a grace, and give up the resentment that you have against someone else, something, or someone. And God is sometimes that person that you just like, well, I'm so mad at him that because all this stuff that I'm experiencing, well, God is waiting for you to pardon him. Once you pardon him, he can take you to the next level, but you're going to have to do this step. You're going to have to absolutely do this step. Now, okay. This next one, and I know some of y'all probably haven't even thought about this, right? Let me go back to the foundation, all right? Let me go back to the foundation. The foundation is that you have to forgive, but if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. And here's the key thing that I have come to learn when talking to my clients. We have been trained, raised as little children, forgive this other person, forgive that person. But this is where we haven't learned. Boom. You haven't learned to forgive yourself. I'm going to let that sit with you for a second. You must forgive you for what has happened in your life. Last night, I was on the phone with a client, and it has come to, they were saying, this person knows that this is what my trigger is. This person knows that this is my weak spot. And then when I reiterated what they said, and I said, you know what your weak spot is. You know what your trigger is. You are the only one holding you back. So you need to go ahead on and forgive you. Forgive the 10-year version of yourself. Forgive the 20-year version of yourself. Forgive the 30-year version of yourself. You need to do that. No one else can do that for you, but you, by you. Period. And once you do that, boom, you will break free in so many other areas in your life. You will be able to move further, faster, once you do what? Remember that you are the king and queen of your domain. You are the king and queen of your domain. You need to pardon you. You need to forgive you. You need to let go the resentment that you have against yourself. goes like in so many areas. This forgiveness goes across so many territories. It covers whenever it comes down to your marriage. It comes when you are like, well, I never forget. I never completed that degree. And you were being so harsh and hard on yourself. Forgive you. Forgive you today. Forgive you today. That is my challenge for you today. Forgive you today. Because that is what I find to be the number one thing that is the most challenging for my clients. They will forgive everybody, but they won't forgive themselves. And you have to remember that you are the king and queen of your domain. You have to release and extend that pardon to yourself. Once you do that, you're going to break so many things. You're going to shatter so many things in your life. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I do definitely want to give you a couple of things to leave out with. One of the things that I did share on my timeline today is healing doesn't mean the pain never existed. It simply means the experience no longer controls your life. So when you extend forgiveness to yourself, you are literally healing yourself. You're literally healing yourself. And I know sometimes it seems tough because you're like, I've had this pain so long, but I'm trying to tell you, don't become addicted to that pain to where you're so accustomed to it. It's kind of like a drug. You want to hold on to it. Don't do that. Release yourself today. Forgive yourself today. Okay? Another thing that I wanted to share with you today was a quote by Dr. Carolyn Leaf. And she said, suppressed emotional pain doesn't disappear. I'm just going to pause and let you sit with that for a second. Because just like how I said I wanted to be Shaka Khan, when I was 10 years old, that emotional pain did not leave me just because every year I advanced in a number. It didn't leave. It can turn into physical pain. And this is what we are causing ourselves when we don't forgive ourselves. When we don't forgive ourselves. The next quote that I definitely want you to learn about, hear about, and even if you needed to want a deeper dive into this, is from Bishop Desmond Tutu. He has a wonderful book on forgiveness. And for some of my coaches who are dealing with wife, divorce, whoever you're dealing with, you may really want to consider giving a deep dive into that area so that you can be better equipped whenever you go out and work with your clients. But his quote is, forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. You are given another chance to make a new beginning. And that's really what I want you to know today. I want you to have a second chance in your life. And for some of you, you may need additional support. And I am here, right? I am here because I don't want you to be in your marriage and you're just like, I feel like I'm living with a roommate. I feel like I have a second child. I don't want you to be in that space. I want you to learn how to be forgiven and forgive, so that you can have the best quality of life that you need and that you deserve. Because you don't have to suffer. Suffering is really a choice. And I definitely want to be able to help you with those ants. You need to get these ants out. All this automatic negative thinking and all this automatic negative talking, it is holding you back. It is holding you back. So I definitely want to extend an opportunity to you for you to set up a time with me so that we can have a talk. And my information is on the bottom of the screen. Just go to bit.ly/speak with MaDonna. But I definitely want you to get in here, because it's no need for you to suffer when I'm here. And I have all of these coaches that surrounded me. So even if you're just like, MaDonna, I don't think you're the one who can help me. Period, point blank. You can tell me that. But once I realize what it is that you need, I am connected to so many other amazing coaches who can help you. And it is time out for you suffering in silence. It's done. We're done with that. Now it's time to heal. Now it is time for you to heal. So that is really all I have for you today. And I just want to say, don't tolerate your life. Enjoy your life. Until next time, be blessed. Peace.